Hello there, Geoff Barton. This is take 9, if you sense a bit of irritation. And it is Tuesday the 18th of July. You've got lots on at the moment. You've got thank you cards to write and leaving speeches to give or to listen to, etc. That's if you haven't broken up yet, physically as well as metaphorically. So let's keep it pretty brief for you. 3 things, predictably. That pay offer from last week. Say a few more things about that. Secondly, the length of the school day, that's still on the agenda around next year. And thirdly, I want to say something about Friday. Friday will be our final video, not ever, so don't build your hopes up there. And our final email, we're then going to leave you in peace until we get to the results season, unless there's stuff that you need to know. So you've got the pay deal, 6.5%. Understandably, the bit you're particularly interested in is what does the funding look like in our own context, and you'll know that Julia Harnden has given you ways in which you can test that out. And remember, we're talking about funding for 7/12 of the year, September through till April. That changes the dynamic a lot there. Because you'll have questions around that, or you might have questions just in general around the offer and the process by which we get to that offer and the non-pay parts of the offer. We're going to put a webinar on tomorrow, that's the 19th of July, 6 p.m. You can join us live if you're around. You can watch it subsequently if you want to. We're going to just have an opportunity there to be able to answer some of your questions. In the meantime, there are 2 bits of homework. One is this. This is the ballot, the formal ballot. We'd like to get that across the line by the end of July. So whatever you think of the actual pay award, if you haven't voted, could you dig out your voting paper? Could you return it to us? You need to do that pretty quickly so it's here before the end of July. And remember, whether you vote yes or no, what we are essentially saying is that apathy around education is not an option. Education has to matter. We have to move it higher up the policy agenda, and you will help us to do that if we can get as many of you demonstrating through that ballot education matters. So that's homework 1. Homework 2 is if you're an eligible member, you will have had electronically the email from us, which gives you a very simple yes/no question. We give a recommendation from executive to accept the pay deal from last week. You'll tell us yes or you'll tell us no. And if you can't find the email, it'll be somewhere in the depths of your computer. We want that back by Thursday, because on Friday we'd like to be able to tell you what we, the ASCL membership, are saying in response to that government offer. So thanks. 2 bits of homework there. Secondly, that knotty old issue about the length of the school day hasn't gone away. Yesterday, after months of dithering, the government has said maybe it is unrealistic to expect people to change their school day from this September. You'll know as well as I do the consultation you have to do on all of that, particularly if you're in a rural community where there's buses. And you'll know as well as I do that putting another 15 minutes on the school day is unlikely to improve learning. It's unlikely to improve behaviour. Indeed, it's likely to make behaviour worse by simply putting another 15 minutes onto lunchtime, etc. So we would just remind you that this is non-statutory guidance. And before you start calling governors together and saying we're going to need to look at the school day for next year, you just remind yourself, like I remind myself every day, of Churchill saying that leaders in our schools have more influence and power than the British Prime Minister. You do the thing that is important for you. Leaders, I think, from autumn onwards, need to reassert their sense of leadership, doing the right thing in your communities. We say a bit more about that in the email today. Finally, let's say something about Friday. It'll be our farewell video for this academic year, our last email for this year as well. As I say, there will be people who will be watching this who are new ASCL members. They will be taking up new posts as assistant heads or business leaders or CEOs or heads or deputies or whatever the role might be from September. What would your advice be to them? What are the things that you have learned? What would your message to them be, those people coming into a new role there? If there's a message that you would have for them, which I can use on Friday, could you send that into the Tell Us inbox? Just call it message or something, or New Year, or I'll find it. You send it, I'll find it. It'd just be nice to have a reflection for those newcomers. And I will on Friday, for those people who are stepping out of the profession, just have some words for you and a cheesy quote, no doubt, as well. So I said something about the pay offer. The webinar is tomorrow, 6 p.m. I've said something about this, we think, rather fatuous idea about the length of the school day. And thirdly, we said something about Friday, when we will regroup with you. As always, if you want to tell us stuff, you know how to do it. If you simply need some professional support at a time of year which is always fractious, then our hotline team, member support team, legal team all here for you. We'll see you again on Friday.